Hello and welcome everybody into Coach Yeager's Playbook, presented by Reeves Construction. William Galloway alongside Coach Chris Yeager. Coach, as always, great to be with you.
Good to be here, William.
I'll tell you what, after 42 points last week, winning on the road, getting back on the right side of things, you had to have a lot to smile about, beating the Yellow Jackets, getting your first region win, getting a lot of confidence as we continue this road tour into Homewood tonight. So what were some of your initial takeaways and thoughts after watching film in that big win last week?
Well, the biggest thing, going into it is we talked last week, the key going into the game was continue the journey of growth, continue identifying things, areas that needed our attention and needed them immediately. And, it's amazing how I think all our players would say the same thing, how the smallest of details over a long period of time, just keep giving them attention. And then, eventually you'll start seeing progress if you're committed to them long enough.
And you talk about all areas of the ball. Kicking was fantastic. Defense forced 3 turnovers, nearly 4, had an interception, popped in and out of the hands and then onto the turf. And then offensively, setting probably what could be a record number of yards, especially yards on the ground. I think it was 399, 400. And we'll talk about some of those guys that put those numbers up. But overall, you had to be pleased with almost the stark contrast of difference in the Game 4 performance and the Game 5. Is that something where you talk about trying to move on and turn a card, or is that one of those things where you just say, hey, we need to build on this, and Game 4 is much a part of our resume as is Game 5 and then 6 through 10?
Well, that's a great question. The biggest thing you do is you try to take it play by play, but every Friday night is an opportunity to collect information and say, where are we, where do we need to grow? One of the most amazing things I thought was an incredible turnaround. Everybody sees what happens on the field, but a player being for another player, having excitement and having joy when another player succeeds, that's as much as a part of a team as anything. And so one of the things that we looked at on Thursday and Friday before we left, we pulled up clips from past great teams. And when you see when people on the field, when they do something good, the people on the sideline, they did well. They're invested in the people on the field as well, And we looked at some teams where, and even us, the week before at Pell City, we looked at our sideline and it did not look like a Mountain Brook team. It was just, we put so much into this and we invest so much and work so hard. That's the nights that you need to go out and have excitement about what you're doing, enjoy what you're doing, and when a teammate does something great, you express that in a great way. And so I think, to me, that was probably as big a difference in our team as anything. And again, those are things that we talked about during the week.
Yeah, and the term for that is Mudita. You mentioned it in the post-game press conference, and obviously Patrick Murphy, Alabama softball, kind of coined that into a national thing. He didn't create it, but kind of took that branding and pushed it. So we saw a lot of Mudita and some of that team passion and team spirit, especially on the defensive side of the ball in turnovers, right? Miller Crumpton had 2 interceptions, and we had, I think, Skip Stewerman with a forced fumble. Mac Mandel jumped on top of it, so kind of just a team collection on the defensive side of the ball. But let's talk about Miller, because that was he had 2 interceptions in that game. He had 1 bounce off the turf. He had 1 in a previous game bounce off the turf. And as a junior linebacker, playing his position, that linebacker core is just littered with juniors and plenty of talent for this year and then years to come. But he's taken a role as a sophomore last year, played a lot, and then built upon his experience. And like we've said on previous shows, is playing like a senior now alongside a lot of returning starters. So tell me a little bit about what you see in Miller Crumpton and what he's been able to do with his body of work this season.
Well, since I've known Miller, he's one of the hardest defenders to block for any offensive lineman, tight end, running back, whoever it is. He has this knack about number one, just finding the smallest crevices and fitting through them, and then popping out of nowhere and making plays. And so I think, and then golly, Miller's more about what you don't see than what you do see. If you look at what you do see on the surface, you think, how's this guy, a 6A high school linebacker? But the bottom line, you can measure the height with the tape. You can measure your weight with the scale. You can measure your speed with a watch. you just can't measure what's behind the sternum, and what's behind his sternum is pretty darn incredible, and to me, he's got something there that's unique and very, very special.
As we talked about, 2 interceptions, almost 3, 6 tackles last week, and we're excited to see him continue his junior campaign in the second half of the season. And also a guy that we got to talk about. We can't talk about last week's game without mentioning Lawson McKnight. I think 312 yards was the official stat on the ground. Played a little bit of defense as well. Came over for a battered and bruised and banged up running back room to now I think he has the second highest number of yards in a single game at 312 behind Major Ogilvy, who ran for 339 and 4 touchdowns against Murphy in 1976. That stat's courtesy of Trick Galloway. But Lawson McKnight obviously suffered a tough injury in that game, and everybody came into that game. Everybody has a little something, right? But Lawson is coming into this game and the rest of the season is someone who's going to have to support from the sidelines. Mm-hmm. So talk a little bit about Lawson and just what he brings to the team in his new role. But because he's been versatile, contributing offense and defense this year, and what we're going to see from him.
Well, the thing, you talk about his injury. The thing that is significant about his injury is, you think, well, he rushed for 312 yards and then at the end of the game he gets injured. Well, that's not what happened. The second series, I think his third carry, he's injured. And as you said, he proceeded after that to rush 32 more times and, for 300 plus yards. And, when a player's injured, the only thing you have to go by is what they tell you, And so Coach Jordan and them, when they evaluate him, Lawson was like, I'm good, and but he wasn't good. But what he did was, he kept playing through it. To me, that performance, especially, after being injured, like you said, he'll be supporting us from the sideline for the rest of the year. But to me, his performance after being injured, to me, was legendary. It's just, man, you sit there and you talk about having excitement for a player that's successful, but and that's incredible when you do that. But another thing is, we told him before the game, that's exactly what a teammate should do. But a brother, your fight is my fight. Your conflict is my conflict. And you step up, and there's no greater expression of how you feel about another person, how much you love them or whatever, than your willingness to lay it on the line for another person. And so when it was all over with, Lawson and I were walking off the field on Monday prior to him having his procedure, and we're talking, and I said, Lawson, what made you do it? And so he just looked around. He said that, and he pointed to all the other guys. So to me, that's Mountain Brook football. That's what being a Spartan's all about. And like I said, he's special no matter what happens. But the fact that he did that, and in the backdrop, there's a significant injury.
Absolutely. And we've had other guys with season-ending injuries, and guys come in banged up week in, week out. And it's just, as you have said on previous shows, talking about the nature and the type of person this game attracts, Lawson McKnight is of the utmost of that. And just bringing his force and energy and passion to the game, and he'll be able to contribute that in a new way from the sidelines throughout the remainder of the year. Coach, let's talk about Homewood tonight. Okay. We end our 3-game roads. It's been over a month almost now that we've played at home. So we're just living on the road. We need a little tour bus for our Central Alabama trips. But no, we're excited. It's a non-region game, and so that doesn't mean you let off the gas at all, but a little bit of a tune-up. So we have a little bit of special video for you guys tonight. Cole Kublick and Greg McElroy, respectively, Mountain Brook and Homewood, TV and radio personalities, and also community members. They have a quick preview of tonight's game for us, and here's that real fast.
All right, Friday night, September 26th, Homewood versus Mountain Brook, my hometown. Your 5th adopted hometown that you have? Texas,
this is home.
California, Charlotte, now Mountain Brook. So just the next one in line is what this is for you.
Yeah, I just like to change on a year-to-year basis, but we've now lived here for 9 years, 3 kids born here, 3 kids coming up in the Mountain Brook school system, and just really really proud to know they have access to such a tremendous education, the premier institution for public schools here in the greater Birmingham area.
Yeah, I don't really care about the education. I just hope we win the football game, to be honest with you. It's all about the Patriots winning on the field. That's all I care about.
The thing
all
is,
I know is I remember when I was at Homewood, we dominated Mountain Brook and everything. So that's all I care about.
I believe some things have changed since then. First and foremost, the Homewood team now is actually physical as opposed to the teams that you played on.
Yeah.
I know this too. Like, if there's one thing I know about the Homewood Patriots or Patriots, I don't know how they even pronounce y'all's.
America's team is what we call it.
Yeah, oh, gotcha. Sounds good. Just like the New England Patriots, everyone loves them too. Really original name, I might add. What I'll say is that there have never really been that many good offensive linemen that have come out of Homewood. None that come to
that's your Crimson Tide fellow Evan Mathis you're talking about, and David Ross. Those are your friends that you're making fun of. I didn't play down of offense at Homewood High School, so that's great. I only played defense. We had great defensive linemen. If you're going to make fun of former Alabama players here on this, that's great.
Well, frankly, I don't care who they played for in college. Last I checked, we're talking about a high school rivalry right now.
All right, the 26th, we got Mountain Brook at Homewood. What's your score prediction? That's what I need here. Finally.
I will take Mountain Brook 27, Homewood 17.
I'll take Homewood 42-0. That's all I need to know. Patriot power. That's what we got.
Awfully confident over there, Cube.
Yep, I am. Believe it.
Homewood. They are, of course, they're undefeated. They're ranked, I guess. And they're a good football team. They're a complete football team. They're the biggest thing right now when you start looking at teams, in the area and even teams across the state that are successful right now. They're very healthy right now. So they're very similar to us in that they've got a lot of returning starters. They've got a lot of weapons, and but again, they're very healthy. And so we're going to have to. It's going to take a great effort for us. It's a great challenge for us too. We're going through a stretch here, an incredible stretch. And the kids have done great. The kids have, the preparation, and then the way that they've played in games and stuff. It's just been, exactly what we would expect from a member football team.
When you look at Homewood tonight too, and their defense is only averaging, I think, giving up 4.4 points a game, right? And they've scored in the 40s and 50s in all their contests. They've had a great body of work, and you don't want to compare schedule over schedule, but at the end of the day, they've been dominating their opponents, and we've been challenged, and we've also answered a lot of challenges. So obviously, super excited to play this, and then the community spirit. Obviously, we talk, and every week we wrap up. We have a passionate fan base. They have a passionate fan base. It's going to be a raucous environment at Waldrop Stadium tonight. And these type of community football teams and community football programs, it's good when we go head to head. So I am excited that we get that. Coach Ben Bergeson and his staff and his program welcoming us into Homewood High School tonight. So with that, I'll just say we're looking forward to it. We've been talking to some of their people. Obviously, you guys have been doing the X's and O's, studying the film. But Coach, as we wrap things up, we're going to give you the final word as we always do. Again, this is the Coach Yeager Playbook presented by Reeves Construction. We appreciate their support, and we appreciate all of our fans taking in football on Friday night. There's no place we'd rather be. So, Coach, wrap us up, and we're looking forward to tonight's contest.
Well, we've got a great relationship with the staff and the program from Homewood. Really excited about playing this game. All of our games in the past have just been, classics. Just such good games. And I know that the citizens from both communities, great relationships there. We have a great deal of respect for one another. So I feel like it's going to be an incredible, good high school environment, and I feel like it's going to be a great game too. And I think it's something our fans will enjoy. And again, I think it's going to be memorable. And hey, don't miss it.
And maximum effort every single play. Bring the ball to them on the first play. We go flat every single game. Let's not have to begin, all right? Let's get 1, 2 in the middle. 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3.
If you don't have anything to fight for, then what do you have to live for? Let's freaking go out and live a little bit. Let's live and take the fight to them like they have never seen before. Let's make them think those were the most vicious 48 minutes that they have ever experienced in their whole life. What is our strength?
Our offense now trying to go to work. Trey Vincent gets a pass complete across into Yellow Jacket territory. And inside, Hoffbauer takes this go. Lawson is going to roll, trot, leap, and fall inside the 10. Great pickup from McKnight. Hoffbauer fakes the give and looks back now complete down to the 1-yard line. Marching forward and marching in. Can we get the signal? We've got it, and we've got to score. Touchdown Lawson, touchdown Spartans. Let's go. How about Skip Stewerman? And how about Hosford Roberts on the stop for the Spartans? Yeah, let's go. Catch me on a highway. To Lawson, breaks free, across the 20, 10-5, touchdown Spartans. Woo! Mountain Brook takes the lead with 4:05 left to go. Here's a first down and a great stop from Billy Farrow. To Lawson. And Lawson breaks the tackle. Don't you get caught. Space 20, 15, 10, 5. Boom! Touchdown Spartans. Lawson McKnight for the 3rd time this evening finds the end zone. They can't slow me down, better hurry up. Speeding down the highway. Kate Hoffbauer, and he shoots for the end zone. Touchdown Spartans. Kate uses his feet and picks up the score. Hoffbauer fakes the give. He's got a man, Bennett Jordan, and Bennett Jordan has nothing but space and a touchdown Spartans.
Hey, if you don't have anything to fight for, do you have anything to live for? I'm going to tell you what, guys, that's what I call living now right there. And hey, and a great job of Hoka. Hey, it's a great day for a dadgum fight. Good job, guys.
Okay, on 3, 1, 2, 3.